Welcome to Punky's World. And thank you, Nick Opalewski, once again, for suggesting actually a really great card. This is WWF Rampage 1991. Okay, the first match was probably, except for the whole disqualification mess, was probably the best overall match. And it was funny because Nick asked me, what was your favorite match on the card? And I couldn't come up with an answer. And then I thought about this match, and I think this was it. The Bulldog was disqualified because Bret Hart had come in to stop the coach from interfering, and the referee didn't realize that, and he just saw Bret in the ring and disqualified the Bulldog. So, and just as a little bit of trivia, Coach was actually a legendary Canadian wrestler named John Tolis. He was known as the something Greek, because obviously Tolis is a Greek name. And he was very well known. He came in for a short period as Coach. I think he worked backstage for Vince McMahon as well. Just so you know, in case you didn't. I like to give little bits of trivia that I know, that maybe people might be too young to know. Like, I didn't know who he was. My dad told me who John Tolis was, and that was Coach. Next match was Kerry Von Erich versus the Warlord, which ended in a double countout. It was what it was. It wasn't great. Commentary and banter between Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon in that particular match. There were different commentators for different matches because they were in different arenas at different times, and they just sort of squashed it all together on Coliseum Video, which was the World Wrestling Federation's official video company. And I think they bought Coliseum Video eventually. I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up. And I think, like I said, I think their commentary was more entertaining, truthfully, than the match itself. Yeah, not great. Okay, why is this? I gotta figure out my phrase. But anyway, the next one was Paul Roma versus Animal of the Road Warriors, the Legion of Doom. Animal won. It was a decent match. I'm surprised at how much Animal had to sell for Roma. It was like it was all Roma. And then Animal all of a sudden won. It just didn't tell much of a story, you know, and didn't make a lot of sense to me. The next one was the Rockers and the Big Boss Man versus the Nasty Boys and the Mountie. Okay, I think we've talked about the fact that the Mountie was Jacques Rougeau Jr. The Big Boss Man was Ray Traylor. He was Jim Cornette's bodyguard, Big Bubba Rogers. He was legitimately a prison guard in the Cobb County Jail. That's where they got him from. Ray Traylor died, unfortunately, and he was pretty young. He's said to have been just the sweetest guy. That actually was not a bad match. I think both of the Nasty Boys are retired now. I know Jerry Saggs is. He retired before Brian Knobbs did because Jerry had back issues. They actually grew up together. I can't pronounce Brian Knobb's last name, but what they did was they shortened their last names. And he's Brian Knobb, I can't remember. And Jerry Sags is Jerry Saganovich. And they grew up together, like I said. Ricky Steamboat versus Smash of Demolition. Ricky won, probably the worst stinking match of his career. Not through any fault of his own. They did not mesh. It was just terrible. Sorry, Ricky, I love you. And you could have a match with a broomstick. But, yeah, this match was awful. Like I said, through no fault of Ricky's. Then there was Jake Roberts versus the Barbarian. And the Barbarian won by countout because who was it? Earthquake came out, and Jake chased Earthquake away with the snake, and in doing so got counted out. Haku, or as I know him, Meng, versus Greg, the Hammer Valentine. And Greg Valentine won. That was not a bad match. That was decent. I should have mentioned that the reason that the Boss Man was with the Rockers and the Mountie was with the Nasties was because they had just started a feud about who the Law and Order in the World Wrestling Federation was, that led into a match where the loser had to spend the night in a legitimate jail cell. Which the Mountie lost. It was hilarious. After the Mountie lost that match, it was hilarious. Anyway, I'll try to find out which pay-per-view that was. I'll make that my next review. They had the jail match because it was horrible. It was, oh my goodness, and the whole show was good. I have to look that up, and that will be my next review. Power and Glory versus the Orient Express. Power and Glory were Paul Roma and Hercules. It was a double countout. The Orient Express was Kato and Tanaka. Kato was actually Paul Diamond. Some of you younger wrestling fans might remember Paul Diamond. Actually, older wrestling fans. He was with Diamond Dallas Page when Diamond Dallas Page was a manager back in the AWA. Yeah. But he was later on, too. He wrestled as Paul Diamond. But he had a great career in Japan with Gedo, Gedo. And he was Kato, K-A-T-O. And so, yeah. Don't know much about Pat Tanaka. There was a double countout because they were fighting on the outside. And in between all of this, Bobby Heenan and Gene Okerlund were hilariously teaching us how to play golf. I am telling you, this was so entertaining and so funny. The next thing they did was visit Paul Bearer at home. Well, Paul Bearer had a corpse in a casket in his living room. Then he went in his living room closet, his coat closet for something, and the hand of a corpse fell out. It was, oh my gosh, it was ridiculous. Oh, it was so ridiculous. And William Mooney didn't miss a step. He stayed right in character. He didn't miss a step. It was so funny. But also scary in a way. You know, like it was perfect for like Halloween or something. Excuse me. And at one point he sits in his chair and puts his feet up on the casket and says, "Oh, don't worry, he won't mind." so funny. And I do vaguely remember that segment. And the main event was the Ultimate Warrior versus the Undertaker. I will give the Ultimate Warrior credit. He sold for the Undertaker. It's probably the only time I've ever seen the Ultimate Warrior get into trouble in the ring, if you will. Wasn't a terrific match, but you know, it was okay. The Ultimate Warrior won by disqualification. I think the problem was they couldn't let either one of them lose. The Undertaker had just started at, was it Royal Rumble 90? Yeah. And that was in 91. So he'd only been there a year and a half, and they were trying to establish his dominance. He can't be beat. And the Ultimate Warrior couldn't be beat. He was the World Wrestling Federation champion. So, they had to do it that way in order to keep both of them as the big, strong beasts that they were. That's my opinion of why they did it that way. Like I said, my next one will definitely be that one. Oh, wow, that was fast. I did not expect that to go that fast. But I guess because there was no video, it was just audio. Boy in the box. I-N-F-I-E-T. As L-S-E-P-H-A-U-G-U-S-T-U-S Z-A-R-E-L-L-I. Can't believe I spelled that wrong first time. Anyway, let's plop you in videos. And going to minimize you. Select the file. Podcasts. There we go. So yeah, it was overall it was a decent show. It was very entertaining, which is kind of the point. So I'm going to find that other show. In fact, while we're speaking, I will find out the name of that other show. The only way I know to do it is to write the match. Loser goes to jail. SummerSlam 91. That will be my next one. So that's what I'll be doing next, is SummerSlam 91. So look out for that video. Which this ended up being on the 9th. So. Anyway, so yeah, look out for that video. It should be in the next couple of days or so. Oh, where's that doggone picture at? You know what? I'll just put my logo there. There we go. Okay, good. Okay, saying it's only going to take 11 minutes to load, so that's good. That's uploading on Kid Missing, so check it out. Check it out over on Anchor and all the other places where, excuse me, Kid Missing Radio can be heard. I am working on potentially getting another case. I'll let you know. Thank you so much for joining me for this retro wrestling recap of Rampage 1991. And our next retro wrestling recap will be SummerSlam 1991. Thank you again, Nick Opalewski, for requesting this one. The next one's all mine. Because I do want to watch that match again. And I can't remember what the other matches were on the card, but I will go find it and watch it. I might watch it today just because I can't really walk on my foot, and I just get my lunch and watch it. So, thank you for joining me. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.